Hello everyone, I'm Sathini Jayawickrama, second year undergraduate at KDU. Today my topic is about humanitarian negotiations. I warmly welcome Mr. Sergio Triana for today's discussion. Firstly, sir, would you please introduce about yourself for us?
Yes, thank you very much for this invitation. My name is Sergio Triana. I'm a doctor in law from the University of Cambridge. And also I'm a practitioner focused on humanitarian aspects.
Thank you, sir. So without further delay, let's move on to the questions. First of all, my very first question is, what is humanitarian negotiation in your opinion?
So I won't refer it in the more academic way. I'm more referring the practical way. So humanitarian negotiations are any activities that will guarantee access to services and protection of human rights, in this case also children's rights, in any context of humanitarian emergencies, which means when the life of civilians are under risk.
Okay, sir. When talking about challenges, what are the challenges encountered during the process of these negotiations?
So the main challenge that we are seeing right now in our daily work is having access to hard-reach areas and also having access to some armed actors. Why? Because in some regions when that are in conflict, usually there are a universe of armed actors that international organizations need to interact with in order to guarantee the provision of services and basic services and safety for these opportunities. I'm sorry, for these humanitarian challenges. So that's the most important thing. How can we mitigate any challenge in having access to hard-reach areas?
Okay,
and hard-reach populations, hard-reach populations. Please continue.
Okay, so how do you overcome these challenges?
So first, it's really important to take into account the context. It's essential to have local partners that understand the context of the problem. Also, it's really important to keep the basic principles of neutrality of any organization that works on humanitarian negotiations, and that the mandates of international organizations are supported and respected by all the actors in conflict.
Okay, Mr. Sergio, I'm from a different region than you, which is South Asia. Would you able to let me know whether styles of humanitarian negotiation differ from region to region?
Yes, as I mentioned before, so each context is totally different. So I might know the broadest spectrum of what is necessary to take into account with in the context of humanitarian negotiations, but experts like you or your colleagues in the field are the ones who have all the knowledge on what is the best way to address humanitarian problems. So, and that happens in every humanitarian emergency around the world. Local experts and civil society and local partners are an essential stakeholder in the humanitarian negotiations process.
Okay, sir. Then how do you select local partners to engage in negotiations?
So local partners, usually you see that local partners are the ones that are in the field most of the times already providing access and providing the necessary skills for the community to negotiate, to conduct humanitarian negotiations. Let me give you one example. Some communities, there's a concept called community-led negotiations. So some communities negotiate by themselves. Sometimes they have even better tools than international organizations to do this. So the most important thing, and one of the projects that I'm working right now, it's learning how these communities lead negotiations, humanitarian negotiations themselves in order to have access to services and safety. So I see that as a key role. Communities are the core element in any humanitarian negotiation.
Okay, sir. Do you think it's the best to allow local communities to negotiate on their own?
I think that as I mentioned before, everything depends on the context and the situation. Some communities might need support, some communities might not. So everything depends on the situation and the context that we're dealing with.
Okay, sir. Could you like to share your experience and best practices with us?
Yes, for example, there is one case of a community in Colombia that for years have been located in between, have been suffer the effects of conflict, armed conflict. This community in the province of Antioquia organized themselves in order to lead their own negotiations and in order to be presented as a neutral part in the conflict. In that way, all armed actors knew that this community had a strong community-led negotiation approach, that community has a strong social cohesion, and that allowed this community to have access to services and to create an environment, a safety environment for them and the communities around them.
Okay, sir. Thanks for joining with us today, and you gave a valuable discussion for us. And thanks for spending your valuable time with us also. And I wish you all the very best.
Sathini, thank you very much to you, to the rest of the students. I think that we all need good human beings like all of you that are wanting to learn about this process, that want to work in the field too, that want to do research and to create this great link between practitioner and scientific research. So hope to see you again.